which they won against Cloud9 just a few days ago.
Well, I mean, this Rise team, just to kind of put a number on it for the people who enjoy numbers and statistics, they've lost 2 maps in their last 10 sets. So they've 2-0 Tempo twice. They 2-0 Cloud9 in the MSI qualifiers. One of the maps they lost was against Liquid. That was 2-1. Then they beat a lot of the kind of the mid-tier NA teams, Cyberwolves, Velociraptor Gaming, Huckleberry, and 1%. They 2-0'd everyone except 1% they lost a map to. And then they 2-1 Kingdom, who just beat this Cloud9 team. So Rise Nation really living up to the name of just continuing to rise, continuing to impress. I'd have to say, given the results that we just saw on Kings Row, especially from Rise, you'd have to give them the edge against a Cloud9 team that just lost to Kingdom.
I will comment that I think that, before you go ahead and cast, that I do kind of like this Zen Ana combo that Cloud9 has been running and experimented with. They made it work. On Nabani, I thought really well, and we have to see how much of that was due to Tempo Storm. Didn't go so much to King of the Hill, but Lucio's kind of standard there. And I actually think it could have some very good viability moving forward in the next few weeks.
Definitely agree. And take a look here at the full roster. We're taking a look at the defense coming out from Rise. We'll be running xRetzy on the McCree, Desro on Reinhardt, Spirit on the Reaper, Faz on Lucio, Midnight on Zarya, and Locke gonna be here on the Zen. And I gotta say, if Rise Nation keeps this up, you gotta think this is a team that's gonna get paid very well in the future, or just a lot of competitive offers gonna be coming in. There's a lot of very big names in esports without an NA team, and I gotta say, if Rise keeps this up, Hex, you gotta think that they're gonna be getting some really big suitors and competition, and just everyone wanting a piece of them because they've been doing great.
Yeah, the one person trying to put an end to that, though, is Short4. I was going to say it before he got the kill. Now it looks less predictive, but Short4 taking down Retzy is enormous there. Hey, he's running this Hanzo here. First point, Kings Row. That is where Hanzo likes to make his impact felt the most. Midnight does equalize it, though, with a nice kill onto Mendo. So 5v5. Kai comes in, takes down Faz. This is going to be Cloud9 cleaning up.
The problem here is that when you lose someone as quickly as Short4 was able to get the early dispatch there, is that it's very difficult to actually cover everything that the offense is throwing at you. Short4, after the first kill, was able to just sit up there, have lunch, do whatever he wanted in terms of laying on the pressure as Hanzo, and now, off of that early pick, Short4 is really setting the stage here for C9 as they're able to keep things moving forward at a very quick rate. So this could not be a better start here for C9.
Short4 is on this ledge up here. I am convinced one of the designers is a sniper main and made the team put that ledge in there on this map just for Hanzos and just for Widows, because that's really all it's good for. But this is going to be Rise coming back here and getting a little bit of pressure on. Dezo's got to be careful, very far out in front, and they do on a boost the opposing Reinhardt.
Reinhardt comes in, Rolf able to take down Desro early on, and C9, they just continue to pile on here to 65. xRetzy is able to stabilize it a bit. Here comes the Transcendence, and Rise Nation not giving this up without a fight. Ultimate's coming online for them right now. Midnight holding on to that Graviton, not using it just yet. Graviton does come in, Spirit to the back line. Death Blossom out, takes out one, ends up getting 3 before it's all said and done. And Rise Nation, again, aggressive defense coming out. They are able to buy a decent amount of time there, but the problem is they lost so many people that it's still going to be C9 getting extra push on the cart before Rise can contest it once more.
Well, for the moment, payload moving backwards, though, so a pretty decent hold. But I will say the Cloud9 is in the driver's seat here, so to speak, as they do have the ultimate advantage, though a mile away from a Graviton.
Spirit once more gets the back, takes down 2 early on. C9 already fighting off the back foot. Not a whole lot of tools to turn it back in their favor, and they wisely retreat right out of that. And Spirit, very, very good at just finding great positioning on his Reaper, able to take out 1 or 2 people early on, and it works out well. It's very reminiscent of what you see Buds do on Fnatic time and time again for when Fnatic plays. Fnatic, of course, not in the tournament here today. Some things going on with them. We'll see next time we see them play, but it's a good look for Rise when you can start comparing people to some of the very best players on Fnatic.
What I like about Spirit is his consistency. He's not feast or famine on Reaper like so many people are. He's always alive, always getting kills, doesn't play super aggro, but always capitalizes on small mistakes the other team makes.
Well, we have a nano boosted Kai. Kyle himself moving in there, does pick off one. Mendo with an almost blind hook. Gets an extra hook hit kill going in there. Midnight falls. xRetzy trying to turn it back in his favor. No, it's 3 kills here for xRetzy, and now in a perfect position here for McCree cleanup. So it was looking good for C9, but The power of McCree that's landing his shots, able to reverse momentum like that, and just keep it rolling forward cannot be underestimated. And as a result, Rise will be pushing C9 back once more. C9 still working with a lot of time here, but not necessarily that much in the way of ultimate. Spirit could very well end them with a well-timed Death Blossom here in just a moment. He's looking for it, Hex. Speed boost could be in just a moment, just creeping here at the corner. C9 has to be very careful not to let Spirit have his way with them.
He does get in, gets the bubble and the orb to get in the back line, forces out a Transcendence at the very least from Rolf, and Adam and Mendo do combine for a couple kills. They are going to force out a Transcend of their own as Locke trying to keep the 2 remaining members of Rise Nation alive with them, but there goes Locke. This should be C9's fight.
And one thing I was going to lead in there is that Adam did have the ability to just stop, or not Adam, but Rolf had the ability to stop that with the on-point Transcendence. The timing is very, very tight to stop a Death Blossom from killing people just because of how quick it is, but Rolf saw the Reaper coming in, activated the Transcendence at the perfect time, kept his team alive, didn't let Spirit get what he was looking for, and as a result, C9 now with almost 4 minutes to go from second to last, and they're saying a pretty good time here, Hex.
Yeah, one of my favorite things in all of Overwatch is now on the field, and that's Mendo playing Tracer. It just goes back to, reminds me of the good old days of closed beta, when Mendo's Tracer was the bane of team's existence. But here comes an boosted Genji on Short. He gets knocked to the ground and discorded.
Surefour got 2 right away, ended up kissing the dirt right after, but the damage was done. C9 able to keep the momentum moving forward. They take down Midnight, and now it is Rise Nation on the back foot. Xretzy will have Deadeye here, but this is never a position you want to be on the defense here, where you're staggering. You have to come back out in a flash. Xretzy looking for those happy little skulls, still manages to get 2 off.
That was so
C9
important.
possibly being way too over aggro there, and now Rise Nation coming in with the punish. They pick off 3. And I don't know, I just feel like a raw Deadeye shouldn't be getting that much value in that situation. C9 felt a little bit overextended.
The 2 kills that he got were on Kai and Mendo, who were setting him up for the Big Bang combination. They had him Graviton. Mendo was rolling in to throw in that Pulse Bomb when he got Deadeyed on his way in. That was enormously clutch from that. He saved his entire team. Everyone who's in that Graviton was going to die if that Deadeye does not connect with the Tracer at the last second.
Have to see. Here comes the Earthshatter coming in from the offense. Doesn't quite get what they're looking for. Xretzy firing right back. Soundbear out here for the defense. They're up 1 to start things off. Winston just getting peppered with shots in the back, and Kai going the fall as a result. It's 3 quick kills here from Rise, and Rise once more finding their footing, able to give it right back to C9, and C9, they're going to have to try and get out of this with their lives. Surefour stuck in a really awkward position, is able to get out. We'll have Dragon Blade for the next fight, so I think we're going to be seeing here, Hex, is Nano Boost in the Dragon Blade and really putting the game in Surefour's hands.
That's probably their best bet here, Adam and Surefour combining. That's the only alts on the field.
And there it is. It comes right out, takes down Faz, looking for more. He gets stymied a bit by that Transcendence. Still is able to find 2 before it's all said and done. But it's not as clean as C9 needed, as Surefour ends up dying in the end. And it's yet another hold from Rise with 2 very key ultimates burned here for C9.
Well, their back is against the wall now, as they only have about 80 seconds here to close out this map. They've gotten good progress on it, but now it does seem that they're scrambling a little bit. What do you think of this May pick coming out from Surefour?
I mean, we've seen Surefour on May quite a bit. I don't know if I like it in this situation as the we have to make plays happen right now pick, but I think for them, what they're hoping for is that Surefour is going to get the wall freeze out, set up 1 person, that'll be the pick they need. I don't know if it's exactly the play here, though. I'm not super sold on it, but for C9, it is do or die. This is one of their very last pushes coming out. And Spirit, though, now on the Genji, able to get to that backline, takes out Mendo. And with no Mendo, there's no McCree muscle as the fight breaks down here. X-Rise once more in a good position, and here comes the Dragon Blade. Oh no, Rib! The hammer swing takes down 3! And just as it was looking good, it's starting to look way worse as C9. 35 seconds left, in a great position now to finish this out.
There's no reason any of that should happen. Rib was just swinging wildly as he was swarmed by all the DPS of the other team, able to somehow connect with about 3 of them. Here comes an enormous Earthshatter late from Rib as he puts the team on his Reinhardt shoulders. There goes the sound barrier for the defense as they try to stall this out. They looks like they should be able to, but a couple late kills as Mendo rejoins the fight.
Mendo's rejoining the fight. Rolf is marking them. Mendo knocking them down. This is a terrible position to be in on the defense. They're trying to stall things out and look for the miracle here. At the very least, draw enough time to 0. Now, you might go, well, was drawing out to 0 matter? It matters a lot for how time bank is handled towards the very end. Now, this can get a little bit complicated, but to explain it in full, those last few seconds of delay, it matters for this following reason. If Rise is able to finish out this map and do it with over a minute remaining, as in not 1 minute, not 59 seconds, but 101 left on the clock. If they're able to, I think 1 minute actually might qualify for this as well. Then C9 does not get a free minute. They do not get any chance to attack, and it's a free attack for Rise to try and cap the point and finish out the map. But if Rise does not finish out the map with at least a minute buffer, then both teams will have at least a minute and go from there. So the fact that they're able to hold to 0-0 could come back and be a big boon here for Rise, depending on how their attack ends up going down.
Well, defensively, Shore4 is going to stay on the Mei that he busted out towards the end on the offense, which has been a staple of defensive Kings Row for, probably 3 weeks now, something along those lines, just completely walling off, forcing the offensive team up over the top. But you mentioned towards the end of that fight that it was Wolf marking people and Mendo cleaning them up on McCree. It's one of the combinations that I think maybe does not get as much recognition as it should. As we've talked about support and DPS combinations right now, it's Ana and Reaper go hand in hand, of course, Farah and Mercy, the original. And earlier in that fight, actually, it was Locke and Retzi cleaning up on that Carton Streets phase too. So if you can Discord and have a McCree follow that up, that is another great combination of your support and DPS working well together. This Rise Nation team, a wonderful example of how well it works together, as Locke and Retzi have been doing it for a while, as they've been hesitant to move over to the Ana meta, and they've been doing it great. You saw Rolf and Mendo do it too. So when a Zen is alive and you get discorded, the last sound in the world you want to hear is a Peacemaker going off somewhere.
Absolutely, and something to note here too, as far as how all of this is going down, is that you take a look at Rise. Rise is not in a good shape to start out that game. C9 had them on the ropes, but a mark of a really good team is that you're able to come back from those situations, re-solidify, and bring it back to the other side. And Rise is able to do that, which does not bode super well for C9 if Rise can start out here with a strong opening. Good wall from Sheer4 to sort of block things out in the beginning, but overall, Rise still holding strong. They're able to deal with the poke, and now they're muscling in on C9's territory.
Yeah, C9 forced back through the hotel. Mendo's going to go for this hook. He does hit it, but a beautiful shield out of Midnight to save Desro from taking all of that damage. Keeps his whole team alive. Still kind of back and forth. Another hook is hit, and they do sleep dart and eliminate Midnight with the help of Rolf.
Midnight is down. Retzi, though, trading back, taking down Rib. And remember, the offense trades out better here than the defense. So C9, they can't lose anyone else. If they don't lose anyone else here, they should be able to recover in full. And it's looking like they're going to do just that. The remaining members of Rise just backing out. Retzi, McCree, really, really vulnerable in situations like that if he's not careful. But Kai overextends, and here comes Rise. Now the potential advantage.
Midnight gets frozen here on the point. They do finish him up too as Shore4 comes out of his ice block to take him down. I will say though that Rolf, you expect your Zenyatta to be able to Discord and Harmony well. His DPS adds so much to this team.
It does, but he's sliced right down. Spirit gets the backline, but Mendo, the immediate punish there. Dragonblade not getting as much as he wants, and here comes Mendo, going right to the back, looking for more, looking for those key hooks. Not able to hit it. Retzi as he's sitting there on the ground and ends up paying the price instead. Not the flank Mendo is looking for as Rise starts to turn things in their favor. Late Graviton coming out from Kai. Don't know if it's going to be enough, especially as respawns start coming in here, Axe.
Late Blizzard's going to come in desperation, too. Does freeze Midnight, which is not going to be making him happy as he's been frozen a couple times this game, but it's enough for them to grab this point and continue moving forward. Now, as we move forward, there are a couple switch-ups on the defense. Kaikai's on a defensive Winston at the moment. Rolf is the only one with his ultimate up, but Mendo will soon have his whole hog up as well. Offensively, Graviton and Deadeye could be a combination they try to hit, although I'm not sure that this phase of the map is the best spot for Deadeye, but Graviton, always good.
Graviton has so many follow-ups, including the Zarya herself under the right circumstances. It is incredibly versatile ultimate that can be comboed well, but doesn't always need a combo. And here comes Midnight. He's going to open up here with the Graviton. Pulls in 4 to start things out. Retzi, though, falling early. That big gun of damage is down, and this Graviton not going to be as successful as Rise would like, as Sheer4, now in his trademark McCree, able to land the poke damage, force Rise back, but this is always tricky here for a defense where you don't really want to go too far aggro just because of how quickly the respawns do come in. Rolf, though, not to be contained, takes out Faz just for good measure before backing out.
The defense right now could actually hold all the way up at the arch if they wanted to, mostly because they've got Kai up here on the high ground, knowing that there's no one's going to be coming up through there. Just as I say that, they do send the Reaper up over top there, but you don't really have to worry about flanks holding this far forward.
No, that is the one upside when you hold forward. As I mentioned, you take away the flank game just a little bit. But here we go. Nano Boost is coming out here from the defense. Kai moving in deep. Gets 2 before falling himself. And Rib just swinging the hammer here in the card. And C9, they're going to trade out effectively to still keep Rise Nation back. And I don't know if Rise is super prepared for this aggressive a defense coming out from C9. But for now, it's high risk, high reward. But C9 cashing in on the reward part of it as... Take a look. The offensive Rise is going to have to regroup once more. They will have Sound Barrier here, though, which should give them pretty good breathing room against C9. And C9, I think they know it. They're backing up just a bit.
Yeah, they want to be in better position to disengage, too. It's better to have a straight shot back into this open area than try to wind through the streets if you get aggressed upon. So that's why they're giving up that about 30 meters of progress.
Sound Barrier does come in here from Rise. They don't have any kills on it just yet. They do get Kai, who's a little bit far up. That shot comes in for Rib, not getting anything that he wants. And now the ult game firmly going in favor of Rise. They're up a player, their ult ultimates. Spirit holding on to Death Blossom, should be going in here in just a moment, just working his way to the back. And Desro goes down, but here comes the Graviton. Spirit moving in. Doesn't like the look of the Transcendence, gonna hold on to it just for now, but opportunity should be coming up here in just a moment as Rise continues to put on the pressure.
They are getting some nice kills here. It's been just really scrappy.
What is up with Rib?
I have no idea.
What? Wow. Why? Either way, the distraction of the Reinhardt far deep still working out. Mendo coming at the whole hog, and they're going to push Rise back and push that up until the very end was working out pretty okay for the side of Rise. So a little bit unfortunate for Rise. Now down to a minute 45. 2 pushes left for them to take second. And C9, they're going to have to do this next fight on grit and glory alone. Not much in the way of ults, but if they're able to take this fight with no ult techs, it could be huge. It could be the map.
Well, they need to start getting some value out of their tank ultimates. There's been a couple Gravitons that have yielded very few results, as well as some Earthshatters that have hit absolutely nothing. And that has been how they like to initiate fights, and without that initiation, they've really struggled. Right now, they are going to have Graviton up. We'll see if they finally make one work.
Earthshatter comes in from Rib, knocks down at least 3. This is what we saw from Rib at E-League, and he's not stopping now. Doesn't get as much follow-up as he wants in falling himself, but creates enough of an opening for sure for the takedown X Red Sea, and this should be a fight cleaned up here by C9 Sure for going in for the scraps.
Yeah, they're going to try to just suicide here, try to get as much as they can, and go for their next fight. That is going to be the last fight of this stage, one way or the other. This time, though, I mean, I guess you could consider that a junk rush, except for Desro, who did try to get an Earthshatter somewhere in there. His Earthshatters have not been good this side of the map, but they did hold on to the grab. They held on to everything else. Can they work a miracle? Last fight incoming with only 30 seconds left.
We're gonna have to see. This is the last attempt here for Rising On to make this work. They do have Graviton into Death Blossom. We'll see if Spirit can make most of it. Spirit having to expose himself pretty early here, but here's the Graviton. Spirit working his way to the back, ends up getting hooked by Mendo, finds himself in a rough spot. Sound Barrier is down, but Sure for Deadeye over the top takes him down. But it is a McCree fest right now. X-Retzy turning on the fire in the opposite end. C9 struggling to hang on here, but the momentum is definitely against them. They're down Sure already, but Mendo looking to be the hero. Whole hog out, takes down Locke, looking for more. And X-Retzy finding himself without teammates in a hurry, and it's going to be C9. The hold at the very end of what was a very close team fight. And they take map 1 right away from Rise. So if Rise is to beat C9 here, they're going to have to do it on the next 2 maps. The C9 coming out and taking King's Row right away from them.
Mendo brought that back, and he was, by all rights, dead. He was discorded and sitting there taking a breather. For some reason, the focus fire did not come through on him, allowed him to get that whole hog off, which started turning the tide. I don't think this is going to be play of the game, but it was play of that stage for sure. It is. Yeah, he's sitting there with a breather.
It's the very end. This is where C9 was losing this fight. Yeah. And suddenly, whole hog comes in, gets the cleanup, stops X-Retzy from killing everyone in the back, and it works out. So whole hog, it's not an ultimate you always look to for the crazy game-changing plays, but if the positions are right and everything else falls into place, it can be the game changer you're looking for, and Mendo saw the opportunity and capitalized.
He also hit nearly every hook he tried that game, and it wasn't always on the ideal targets, but if you're not getting presented with DPS and supports, as you likely won't at higher levels of play, go ahead and hook those tanks. He hooked Midnight and Desro several times, burning out those ultimate or burning out the Zarya shields and putting them in bad position. The rest of the team would collapse on those hooks too.
I'm actually really liking the Ana Zen combination. I mean, Rolf is such a good Zen that, you know, putting one of them on Lucio, and that would usually be out on Lucio, and that would force Rolf onto Ana because you want Ana because of how good he is. But then you don't have Rolf on Zen, so why not use Rolf as his best hero and to have the best ability to have it? It has such a snowball potential, and because King's Row is a smaller map, and you don't necessarily need the speed boost to get back to the point as fast as you can, I really like the way that they were able to do that. I think from Ryze's end, they didn't run Tracer, and they tried to have the Zarya Deadeye combo as much as possible, but they really only got it one time, and that was at the end, and Mendo was able to save the game anyway. So I think they weren't really able to get the combo with Zarya as much as they wanted to. Most of the Zarya ults were countered by Rolf pretty much the entire map, and they weren't able to use the Ana E to like counter Rolf's ultimate. So I think that Cloud9 played pretty well there.
And I think one thing to note too, when you mention combinations like Zen Ana, is that you are giving up sort of mobility and survivability in the supports to some extent. They're both here. Well, Ana is actually pretty darn resourceful in terms of getting away from stuff. Zen is more vulnerable, but you're still getting a lot more damage out of that double support combo than if you're throwing in the Lucio or the Mercy. So it's sort of an all-in. We're going to have more damage out there and hope that we get the first pick as a result. Certainly, you have a Discord orb out there. It leaves you more options to run things like McCree's that someone that's Discord orbed, they're going to fall in short order. It punishes heavy tank play a little bit more as well as Roadhog, even though he's not quite as vulnerable as he was to the old Discord orb, still not the best friend for him, if nothing else. So it's a cool setup to see, I would say, and we'll see if C9 wants to run with that more going forward and just teams in general.
They're both momentum supports in a macro and a micro way, because Ana's ultimate will give you a huge momentum going forward. As say you use it on a Reaper, you're going to be able to buff up not only for that fight, but his Death Blossom will come up faster. Same with a Reinhardt as well. So once you start getting Ana ultimates, it's a lot easier to continue getting Ana ultimates, and the rest of your team will too, as far as a macro looking momentum. And then in fights, when you get one kill, it's a lot easier to single out targets and start eliminating and win that fight in that momentum based game with a Zenyatta too. So it's they both do a similar thing, just on different types of levels. It's been fun to watch.
Alrighty, so defenses are prepared here for the side of C9. Rib taking the high ground here, and this is pretty standard here for defense on Dorado, where I wouldn't expect C9 to stay up here too long. They're going to poke in on to Ryze early on, and then as the card gets closer, they're going to back out into the very defensible courtyard.
Some teams just forego even trying to get that poke in, because it can be a little bit dangerous, but they do end up rotating around to Arch. This is where the fights generally will just begin. Mendo should be watching stairs for the most part. That's where you want your Roadhog. He's going for right side hooks. They are going to rotate all the way around to stairs.
Yep, and this is where the offense, they don't always have to go through the archway. They can take the stairs up. Reinhardt can be the shield, creating space, and it at least opens up the left flank, too, for the other team going in, as Midnight able to go in, takes down Mendo for the first pickoff of the game. 5v5 right now, but Rib finding himself out and in the corner, not in a great position. Expertise will fall too, but remember, anytime an offense gets trade outs here, it's not the worst thing for them. As Wolf, though, putting on a Zen show, gets the triple as Zen, and that is the power of a good support in this role. Rolf making it happen towards the very end. Gotta love to see that. Don't see that every day, but you see it a little bit more often when you watch Rolf.
I was mentioning it earlier that you expect your Zenyatta to have solid Discord, solid Harmony, and good Transcendences. What separates the best Zenyatas are their ability to murder people. Transcendence and Harmony be damned. If you can show up in the left side of that kill feed as Zenyatta, you're doing your job.
Oh, Kai has built up the Graviton, gonna put the Graviton right next to this Maywall. Spirit, though, did take a ton against it back, is already taken down two. If he gets healed up, this Dragon Blade's gonna be a huge threat. And here it goes, takes down Kai, looking for more absolute devastation on the way from Spirit. Ends up just ripping Cloud9 to shreds. The Graviton from Kai, not enough to turn that fight in favor of C9, and Spirit finding a way through, finding a way to put his team on his back, and now this will be the first point capped out by Ryze.
They're going to grab it, and they only had to use Spirit's ultimate to do so. He's already up forward. He's got that Harmony Orb on him, feeling very safe, even though Deflect is on cooldown. But that was it. That was the only ultimate they needed to use. They are loaded for the next fight here. 5 out of 6 ults ready. Spirit probably going to be able to do enough damage to charge his about halfway through the way he's playing Genji.
Spirit has definitely been having a good game here thus far, and again, shades of Shadow Burn at times with how he's able to make things work without an ultimate. Of course, did get Dragon Blade towards the end of that fight, but it was a show. He just cut through C9 like nothing, and you look at the ult game coming in here from Rise, they are fully loaded. The only thing they're missing is that Dragon Blade, and Midnight just looking for an opportunity for a big Graviton here, while his team is still at full strength, and should be getting that here in just a moment. And here comes C9. They're going to try and push the issue, but I don't know if it's going to work out as the Graviton pulls in 3.
Transcendence is on both sides. There's no one getting any damage done. Mendo does try to get some kills. There comes the blade out of Spirit as he takes down 2. He does take down a couple more. Rolf doing his best to equalize there, but it is definitely Rise with the better side of that fight. Adam and Short4 trying to get damage done on the rest of the team. They are largely uncontested until Spirit comes up top. He doesn't even want to duel Short4. They're like 5v2 right now, and they still want no part of Short4's McCree.
You gotta give respect to Short4's McCree, although I will say is that C9, for being down ults there, actually did a marvelous job of keeping that fight close, and here comes Short4. Deadeye Nano Boost, skulls are up, Short4 is in, takes down Locke, and as is, this is the Short4 show, everyone going in on him, he still picks up another kill towards the very end. Gotta love when you see that, and this is the dark side here for Rise, that Rise used so many ults in that fight compared to C9. C9 had a better engagement, and Rise wasn't really able to punish him for it. As a result, both teams are drained on ults. In fact, C9 with a bit of advantage here with the Graviton, and Rise now gonna be stuck wondering how they want to take this second point on the next few pushes, where really C9 bought themselves a lot of edge.
There's respect in their Spear. You needed to kill Short4 there. Spirit tried to go in and he did not get it done. They killed Xretzi, then Short4 single-handedly bringing that back with the help of his support Ana, but you cannot let him live when you have those kind of numbers advantages.
Absolutely not. And look at Kai right now. No one caring about him, just melting people down with no care in the world. Dragon Blade comes out late from Spirit. I don't know if this is going to be quite as effective, though. He's dashing around, not able to get him what he wants. It's Xretzi to the back with the Death Blossom. Takes down 2. Both supports are dead. Both Zen and Ana unable to get away from that, and this might be going Rise's way yet. Rib trying to turn it back around, but it's going to be close in either case, as Short4 suddenly, off of Rib's opening, gets 2 and is uncontested as he looks for more.
It's been largely a tank duel here as all the tanks remain alive. Mendo is on the Winston trying to stall it out at the very least. He's going to do just that. Is his team going to be able to get here in time? Yes, there will be at least one more fight for this point. Grab comes in though and a really nice fire grenade, making sure everyone is not getting healed through there.
This is incredibly close, much closer than it should be. Short4 is back in the fight. Deadeye coming up. Does not care too much about Soundbear Spirit with the deflect saying, please shoot me. Short4 with the patience, needed not to die in that situation. Looking for Xretzi, picks it off. And Short4, the man who just will not go down, up until the point where he goes down. Zarya getting the final blow, but Rib still up and alive here on the point, clearing out space, smacks Lucio in the head. And what a gutsy defense from C9 here. They only need to win one more major team fight here, Hex.
The core of Cloud9 remains to be the carries of Cloud9. Kai was there, but I still go back to Adam and Short4. Just 2v5, somehow bringing it back, getting 1 kill, the Deadeye with it. Adam played no small part in that engagement either. Give the supports their due as well. We're getting down to the last fight of Dorado here.
We are getting down to the last fight. Kai has the Graviton out the ready. Could end it on his own. Gonna throw in the Graviton. Gets 2 in the back, and no, Zen's not there in time. Still loses some in the Graviton before he can zoom right back in. It's 2 versus 2 right now. C9 does have to stay on the cart no matter what the situation here. It is getting a very hectic here on the point. Midnight, Discord Orb or no, trying to melt down. Takes down Adam. Looking for more into the back as Xretzi has the support over the top with the Death Blossom, but a final Zoomyata still on the point as C9 is still not giving this up here just yet. And suddenly the appearance of Mendo Tracer is out, takes down Locke and looking for more.
Spirit gets in here though, and Midnight finally makes an appearance on the board here. It is going to be a stall-out tactic, a little bit late from Kai. Interesting how many swaps they've had happen here as Mendo was on that a little bit earlier, went to the Tracer. They do finally bust it through, but this is not great for him. How slow this door opens, how slow this truck moves. They cannot lose another fight if they have designs on finishing this map.
That was just in general a crazy fight where there's really a period there where there wasn't a big break. It was just one non-stop brawl, both teams throwing everything they had at each other. It was a glory to watch, and C9 in the end did end up on the better end of that deal. They bought themselves a lot of time. They only need one more fight here, realistically, as Mendo goes to back, looks for Zen, ends up whiffing his bomb. Not the cleanest look here for Mendo. and we'll see if there's any punishment coming in. But thing is, when a Tracer is distracting like that, Hex, no one is on Surefour right now. No one can worry about him while Mendo's being a pest in the back.
For some reason, both Reinhardts just charged down the stairs. One was to eliminate a Ana-boosted Winston, then the following Reinhardt went down the stairs too. That was a charge train if I've ever seen one, but coming out on top is Cloud9. 20 seconds left. They will have time for one more push. Can Spirit pull out a miracle? He's also going to have a sound barrier to work with too. That is a combination that has been in the game ever since Genji came out. Keep him alive, get that Dragon Blade some value.
Spirit is a beast when put into situations like this. And we'll see if Faz can set him up for this, but he's definitely waiting for it. Mendo going to be first to fall. Now 65. This is a perfect cleanup opportunity here for Genji. And Spirit really having a lot of patience here on his ult. He wants to save it for the last push, and you know he might be able to do that as Red Sea takes down Kai. Surefour finding himself without a whole lot of friends here on top. Still has to be careful moving on. This is Spirit. This is the case where Surefour still deadly. Look at all the space he's being given as Rise more focused on the payload, but finally Dragon Blade comes out looking for it. Graviton comes out from Kai. C9, they collapse from all angles, and that might have been a bit of a misplay from Rise to not deal with the threat of Surefour over the top.
Well, Surefour over the top is the definition of a threat. I cannot imagine a scarier situation than an untouched McCree on Dorado with high ground. That sounds terrifying. I do want to talk a little bit about Spirit, though, because I mentioned it when he was playing Reaper as well. What I love about Spirit's DPS play, and you mentioned it too, just the word patience. But beyond that, he's always consistent with it. He's not always going for giant flashy plays. There towards the end, he didn't get the ultimate value wanted in large part to an Earth Shredder, but before that, he uses the threat of a DPS to his advantage so much that he's getting into people's space, he's jumping around, he's using deflect, and he's not getting kills. But you know what? They're still out of the fight dealing with him. He understands that they don't have to be dead to be ineffective. He makes other teams ineffective by how he plays his Genji and how he plays his Reaper, and he's just so consistent with both heroes.
He does. One thing I want to point out there is that even though Rib got the quad kill at the very end, just to explain that last fight a little bit more in detail, what happened there is that they still had to worry about Surefour and others on the back, and they just got swarmed from all angles there, where I really do think that if Spirit had just used the Dragon Blade a little bit earlier there, while members of C9 were respawning, they wouldn't have had quite as much cleanup power at the very end, but they wouldn't have had to worry about that just absolutely devastating flank towards the end. I kind of understand what Rise is going for there, but I do think it would have been more in their interest there just to clean up the threat to begin with and try and just put their enemies on one front.
Well, it's not quite over yet. I mean, that's a lot of progress. It's about as far as you can push it without finishing the map. So pretty good as far as the map goes, especially where Dorado is not the easiest map to finish anyway. But Cloud9 already up 1-0, and the North American region just remains to be completely unpredictable. If Cloud9 ends up 2-0 Rise Nation after getting 0-2'd by Kingdom, who knows? We'll settle it all tomorrow in our bracket phase of the game, but for now, Rise looking to put on a defense.
I think if that happens, the clear message there for C9 is don't play control maps, and the message to other teams is put C9 on control maps. There's really nothing else you can take from that, especially since C9, of course, is playing Rise on double payload here, whereas they lost the Kingdom on double control, and they lost the tempo earlier today on control, so it would be a trend of C9 not having all their ducks in a row when it comes to their control play. But speaking of ducks right now, or shurikens as it were, Surefour just laying in the damage over the top of the Reinhardt, building up his ult. Nothing too crazy here, but slowly but surely starting to apply more pressure to this Rise defense.
They do finally gain some entry in here, though, as they get some space through the arch. They're going to back out a little bit. They're holding very far forward, able to contest and deny progress on this, but there goes his barrier. That should be the signal for Rib and Kai to go in, but still a little bit afraid. Surefour not getting enough damage done in the backline, gets beamed down by Zarya. That may cause them to just completely abandon this push and wait for their top DPS.
One thing that I think is really important to note here is look at how quickly Rolf was able to build up ult in that fight. You talk about Ana being known for building really quick ults. Well, Rolf was neck and neck with Adam there on building this, so they're going to have double support ult going to this. Now, of course, on the other end, so does Locke. So it's been a tale of two Zenyatta's, really good play. Graviton coming out here from Rise. They're trying to take the initiative going in, and Mento, though, not having any of it, takes down Spirit right away. 5v5, and here comes Surefour. Dragon Blade out and at the ready. Gonna be met by the sound barrier, has to put it away, and X-Redzi puts it away for him. A bullet to the back of Genji's head, and It's going to be Rise, perhaps. Oh, no! The Graviton from Mendo does enough work! Fight was back and forth, and that's one way of stopping McCree from getting the cleanup that he's looking for. Just put him in a vortex, take him out, and good fight from both ends, but just a little bit better from C9.
They're going to brawl it out here again, at least momentarily try to stall it out. We talk about how good Ana Boost is. I think her real best part of her kit is Fire Grenade. That completely shut down all the healing. When you have a basic ability that nullifies one of the better ultimates in the game in Transcendence, we've seen Adam hit it time and time again. Graviton, Fire Grenade, it doesn't matter what your follow-up is after that, because they're not transcending out of that, they're not healing out of that, or anything. And Fire Grenade's going to get a little bit of a buff soon, I think.
Wait,
or did it? No, it got.
It already got. I was gonna say, Bio Grenade already got them. I was like, wait a second. It's already so good. Why would you buff it again? Hex, please don't be like this. But you have Kakai right now opening up here with Winston. Primal Rage at the ready, already losing so much HP, just getting melted. 1,000 HP or no, Rise not having any of that. Mendo firing right back, a Tale of Two Zaryas right now. C9 still keeping the cart moving, and now, with 2 people down, this is where Surefour can come in once more. Gets the double kill, and there's not much left to deal with him. The classic McCree cleanup is in progress as Surefour just picking Rise apart.
They did burn a couple ults to get that done, but they still have 3 remaining in their bank up against the almost ultimate, but Retzi switches to Tracer knowing that they do want to stall out on this point at least. They do not want to give it up for free, and Desro's going to need some help and reinforcements as they roll in here. I do not love that he's this far out taking this much damage on the shield. The fight's going to happen about 5 feet away from the point anyway.
The Earthshatter coming in pretty early in this fight, but here Surefour on the flank looks for the Deadeye. I think the railing actually ate some of those shots there, Hex. That is the thing, a railing can eat a full Deadeye kill shot, but it's not mattering too much. Mendo picking up the slack, and Surefour is still alive for the cleanup. And it's going to be C9 now. 4 minutes left to finish out this map and put Rise away. Would be a good redemption here from C9 after apparently a rough set against Kingdom.
It's not quite over here yet, though. The funny thing is Surefour already was blind firing at the top right spot because you do not want to let the defense get set up in top right. It's hard to dislodge them, but that is exactly what happens here. Now, 3 minutes and 30 seconds looks like a lot of time, but this is Dorado last. You could hold this for 15 minutes if your back's against the wall. We'll see what kind of defense Rise has.
Oh, man. Surefour able to come in off the flank, takes down Retzi. And that is part of the Feast or Famine with Tracer, where you go to the back and you be more aggressive. You can stop out pushes, but you run to a Korean the bad time, your life will end. As Surefour still has nothing accounting for him on top. He is on a big kill streak right now as well, Hex. That is what the noise you just heard. And he's not stopping, just no one dealing with Surefour right now. What a beast.
That's where you want your defensive McCree, ideally. You like your defensive McCree up top there on Dorado last. This is McCree's home map for the most part. At this stage in particular, now he's completely unmolested. No one's even accounting for him. Doesn't even have to watch half of the map. So now he's just going to grab a pack, sit up there. They do, however, stabilize, get some heroes out here. I'm a little surprised Cloud9 did not go for the kill strike there.
C9 definitely had a bit of an edge that I think they're trying to bank up ults. You take a look at the defense certainly has a lot in their ult bank, so I would not expect them to go out without a bang here. They do have Graviton in the Death Blossom, Sound Barrier, and all the rest. Sound Barrier comes out for them, but that gets met by the Earthshatter, and Surefour coming in over the top, nano boosted, takes down Desro. And now Retzi trying to do the crouch game. Surefour having none of it. 4 kills here from C9, and C9 well on their way. They are going to be taking this map away from Rise and taking the series, so go figure as far as what team beats who, as Kingdom was able to beat Rise, but C9, Kingdom was able to beat C9, and yet C9 able to come back and beat Rise, so there you have it.
Who knows anything based on this group anymore? I was really excited for this tournament and the teams that we had in it, because I'm like, we're finally going to get a little bit of clarity as far as like North American teams go. And it's been anything but, and we're only halfway through groups. We'll see what FaZe, Immortals, Method, and Denial surprise us with in our next group.
Should definitely be interesting. Next group, by the way, we are going to be starting out with FaZe versus Method. So that is going to be a good litmus test for multiple reasons. We get to see Method minus Rolf. We get to see FaZe in terms of what FaZe could be showing up on the day, where it can be pretty variable.
Yeah, definitely. What, did you see anything super interesting there, Slasher? Are you surprised?
Yeah, well, I'm continually impressed by the snowball potential of Ana Zen, where if you just get a little bit of momentum and you get the trades that you're wanting, especially considering how good Rolf is on Zen and his ability to get ultimate that quickly and push out frags and do healing, it's really hard to stop for other teams. They had so many ults going into the second stage, there was really no possible way that Rise could stop the cart. I mean, that's what Cloud9 did such a good job on their defense. They were able to hold on to that second point for 2 to 3 minutes with scrappy fights, maybe 2-on-2, 3-on-3 at the very end. And even though that Cloud9 won the map based on their offense and they had such a better time, their defensive hold on part 2 really is probably the best part that Cloud9 played in that game. You know, there is such a long offensive spawn, you know, from that second point that Rise had to deal with, but still for Cloud9 to be able to hold on for that amount of time was what able to give them that advantage going into the end, where even though Rise had a whole lot of ults and probably should have put it away to force a second round go through of the map, they were not able to because of how well they played that second point.